Yeah. Oh, hey, bro. Once you get that mod, it's a beast because he gets that damage.
Why? I should never think he came out here.
Please, Habibi, before you sleep, just put them on and flip them for me and bring them. I love you, Clay.
Which site? Are you talking about the one that highlights people? Yeah, I don't like high zoom. What's it called? High zoom sights because it exaggerates the recoil.
Yo, Kenny Danny says, what's up, bro?
All right, I brought some shoes. They're cheap, 900. Fuck it. They look, yeah, whatever, better than Turkey generics. Bro, I'm about to equip them on my rec player. I saw some Kyrie's, but I didn't like the color. It was too bright. Equipment, clothes, there you go. Pro-Am Rec Center.
Don't sleep, please. You can bring them to me.
There you go. Some generic ass fucking Adidas. They look like nursing, to be honest. And I like them like newer Yeezys or whatever. But fuck it, something.
For sure, Jay. Let's do this.
I'm here. I'm back. Next thing that I'm gonna get is some shorts and a t-shirt.
You guys all ready?
Like a fucking carton full of it in your bowl.
Yo, Drew, you ready? All right, let's go.
That sounds, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of bomb, but that sounds really unhealthy too.
The Snicker one, no?
For all you viewers, bro, just please go ahead and subscribe and like the video, bro. Thank you so much, Jay, for subscribing, bro.
I have one video on my account, and it's tattoo and choking. We still ended up winning that game, but that shit was funny. He was a shot creator, and he had an open mid-range with like 5 seconds left, wide open, and he held the ball. He pulled the JR. And then we went to OT, and we ended up winning. OT, but that shit was funny. The only thing that kind of kills it is you only hear my reaction, because no one else shared their voice on the party. Because everybody was like, shoot that shit, shoot that shit! Nah, bro, I should only got like 12 minutes. It's my personal one. I don't play with that motherfucker. I ain't heard from him since like. Yeah, I ain't heard from him. I ain't played with him at all this game.
Oh, we got a game.
I didn't see what we're guarding, bro. I got a rebounding rim protector.
No, you don't. Yes,
Yeah, you got two.
I forgot I'm the two.
I got a sharp creator.
Shot crew. I got stuck on you, Danny, my fault.
It's all good, man. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Flash wood protector?
No, a rebounding rim protector. I'm not too worried about him, bro.
My D-Brain Deadeye badge.
Oh. Yeah. Is it just fast?
I thought
Because
you were
I
gonna
know he
call
was
it on
about to
me
call
because
it
I'm
first.
trying to set a screen, but I still had my stick. They're gonna call it fucking.
I was the only miss this game. I'm making every other shot.
Bobby. Ooh, you bastard.
Keep it up.
He said, "You bastard."
He said, oh, you bastard. Good shot. I'm back. That's it.
Ooh, that was a nice little handoff.
The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here.
Lucky he didn't pass out, bro. That was sharp shooting shot
Sharp
creator.
shooting shot clear.
My slow ass was not gonna recover in time. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, J-Dub ain't guarding him. Oh,
Good play. Go. Out. I got
same
yours.
line. Yep.
Yep.
Let's go.
Fuck that shit.
Good shit. Let's go.
I'm not gonna count me a steal. Yeah, I almost got burned for going for the steal, but that shit pierced.
Good rip. Let's go. Danny, their coach fell, bro.
Bad pass. They hold you.
One more. Bang, bang.
Wait. That's all I.
Yeah, I feel the pain though. You gotta be way more perfect when you're not a primary sharp.
Oh, they're done.
Oh, what is he? Pure shot creator? Ooh, that's a nasty build.
Hold on.
Thank God they didn't see that because I wasn't trying to help him.
I'm right behind you. Never mind.
Whoo!
Well, you haven't played with this guy forever, bro. So, because I knew in Park you were fucking smacking with him.
That's it.
That's a
Huh?
Why are you
he about to
watching
cut.
So if I get any chance, I can
Not see me coming
answer
for
'em.
the layup. Maybe pass out or something.
Going in.
Oh, I knew I was gonna birdie. I had to pull that. Cold, he might miss wide open. Shit. Way to miss, other guy.
Damn, my bad, Drew.
Whew.
You
Dude,
should
that
have.
looks like a hammer.
You should have taken it up.
Nah, cause the man was on me. Oh, I'm starting to miss now. That's 2 in a row. You did. You did something. I can't remember last time I missed 2 in a row like that.
What?
Thank you. Good night,
Probably
Danny.
get that shot right. Good bowl. Board, bro. Matty's not playing. Green. Fuck it. Catch.
Well, hey, if your dude ain't playing, go to your spot, Garcia.
Yeah, he was. Well, I mean, he's playing now. He's moving around, but on defense, he wasn't playing. I'm there. I'm not gonna be there that time. Oh, he missed anyway. So I'm gonna stay with him.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're not gonna. Oh my god, bro. It's on me.
Yeah, I know he didn't want to do the fucking. He didn't want to do the fucking hook or float or whatever the fuck that was. I might recontest. That's it.
That's all good, bro. You can get that shit.
Yada yada do.
No, that not real. Catchphrase, whatever. That should not be
All right, I'm gonna make another good pass just so I can say something else stupid. Hey! Oh!
That was a floater, but he was wide open. You know he released that shit hella late, but he was wide open, so they gave it to him anyways. Ooh, the OG. Be savage and stay put. the fuck?
Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it,
Oh,
shoot
pass.
it, shoot
Oh,
it.
one more. Oh, I stayed because I was like confident you was gonna get the kill.
I thought I had it.
Yeah, it looked like it, bro. That's why I stuck around. Ah, fuck.
You bastard.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm glad I saw it. Oh,
Mm.
Alright, they coming back. It was 29.
Yeah, we're up by fucking 15, bro.
oh no, he did get a five. He really fired that. It was a good shot.
that shit was fun. Yeah, the cockback animation and everything.
Yeah, I can't
No,
help you out
that
no
was
more,
like,
Drew.
that
If
was
you can't pick up on that motherfucker, bro.
help me out.
Red.
Damn. Oh man.
They had to give him a bucket. He was 1 for 4 before that.
Ah, I can reach though. No.
I'm stuck.
What?
Man, how the fuck?
Wow. Bro, we haven't scored in like 3 minutes, bro. That's sad.
They're helping though.
Back up. Oh,
Yeah, they knew what was gonna happen. That's why they stuck it.
Bro, they came back from fucking 15 to 8, bro.
oh, he just started running in.
The fuck? Why they just let him hurt him like that?
Huh?
He ain't even doing no dribble moves or nothing. He was just in the corner there.
No. Give me that back. Yeah, there you go. Big ass bitch.
is a 95. Shit. No, that was the Dino. No.
Oh my god, that was nice.
That's not right. Shit. No.
Green.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker ain't been leaving me open
Stop
and
right
shit.
here.
We need some more threes, bro. Get a bigger lead so we can blow them out in the fourth.
That's us. Bring the ball up. All right.
Oh,
That's
he
up.
pushed me. I was trying to set a screen and he pushed me. So young.
No, Duke, get your
Why,
shit.
Drew? Why do you always throw screens, bro? Like, I don't
It's not
understand, my
cheating.
ninja.
What the fuck? That's part of basketball.
You ain't never seen me
Everybody
do that
says
shit before, nobody.
everybody says screens. He was open twice before that.
Good block. Good help. Shut in my
Good
eye.
ball. Okay. Oh, shoot. That's a triangle, huh?
Ah, man, I released that right foot.
Oh, my bad, Kenny. I saw you, man. Fuck.
Nah, you good. I think you good. It just made me throw the ball at the back of his head.
Play it safe. Play it safe. Green.
Let's go. Y'all.
Yep. That's a brick. Major brick. Oh, that was a great. That was a great loose ball.
No.
Oh, we should release that earlier. Got it.
I see you. There it is. Max. I got 38 minutes. I'm back on mine. Good block, gang.
Ooh, good block. Shit.
Oh my god. Why did I push that? Get back.
Oh, I tried.
I'm back. Yep. See. That's up. I got it. Don't fuck that one up.
Woo.
Let's go. Ramping up. Need a 95 or something?
I don't know.
I got a 94.
I got 95.
I don't know. The dude with the orange hair, what is he?
He's a sharpshooting shot creator. I don't remember his overall.
Because one of them a 95. I think it's him.
Nah, I got the 95.
No, he a two-way too. If it's 52, he might be a 94 then, but
Nah, he's not
he
a
got
two
double
way,
take.
bro. He a sharpshooting shot creator.
That's what I'm saying. He's a like a two-way player. The double takeover pop up when you hit L1.
I haven't seen him get hot though.
But he hasn't really did enough to get hot.
Oh, I wanted to throw that shit so bad.
Oh yeah, that's AJ
Uh,
Duck.
Dollar.
He reached because he knew I was gonna
No
roll to the
idea.
side and be wide.
Up our pressure, yeah.
Good tank. Oh, you don't play.
I was moving to make sure that nigga hit me, goddamn it.
Why wouldn't he dunk it? That was so stupid.
Because you're not me.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, good help, bro. I appreciate that. He fucking got me,
Damn, Dino has 9 blocks.
bro. He coming in hella clutch right now, bro. Like he has to
This
shoot a
man
three.
has
If
9 of them hoes.
he can't, he knows he can't. If he gets past me for the layup, Dino gonna send that shit.
Damn, Dino. Green.
Oh,
Tough, right?
Stop lying on your bed, bro. Stay there the whole game.
damn it! Are you fucking kidding me?
Gordon Gayward.
I had to pull that because I was wide. Fuck, that's some bullshit.
Gordon.
Damn.
Oh,
These niggas, oh man.
Stop playing.
Just don't keep moving back.
Right.
Oh, help, help, help. Oh shit. Yeah. Can't believe that steal animation launched me all the way over there.
Don't read. He's about to lose the ball. Yeah, he caught it. Uh,
What?
That was on me, man. I should have passed back out.
Nah, that shit looked good. You had position and everything, and you was way bigger.
continue to pop back out. That's
Oh
that.
shit.
That was me.
But I saw Friday.
Thank you. Thank you,
Good
Steph.
fucking call. I ain't lying.
Fuck it.
Then you'll turn over for stealing the ball when they're running out of bounds.
Low, low, low.
just happened?
I got the rebound. He poked it out of me. I got a turnover for it.
There was a straight up like 8 times. Yeah, about 14 seconds straight. Trying to move out the way.
Ain't the room.
Yeah, to the left. Ah.
No. That's the first time, man. Fuck. Fuck, man. That's on me, bro.
Damn, I threw it in.
Fucking, why is my guy can't hit fucking free throws?
Yeah. Gonna get the easy one quick.
Yeah, the guaranteed buckets.
Run a, yeah, run the
It'll
clock
stop
on
you
them
from one
quick.
of us missing an open three. One of them will hit.
Fucking passing over.
Oh,
Red. Fuck. Thought I had. You're gonna go for last shot.
Of course they're gonna go for the last shot.
and he gonna take it too.
If we lose this, it's on me, bro.
On me too. Took a bad last shot. Fuck. Shouldn't have helped, but it looked like he got past me. Fuck. What do I do? Oh wow.
Sure. I'll grab, bro.
That's tough, man. My guy hit the game. Fuck.
Wow. We fucking lost, bro.
It looked like the shot creator was open, bro. He had his takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Excuse me. Are you gonna play another one, or are we gonna get out? All right.
Yeah, I'm done.
Sure. 2K compete. Event has ended. Is that the four versus four or whatever?
All right, y'all.
Tough loss.
Wow, bro. I had had 21 fucking rebounds, 9 fucking blocks, and 10 points, and we still fucking lose.
Yeah, I took a bad shot. I thought he jumped, but he recovered quick enough and contested it. And then I swear I saw him get past like Kenny. Like I didn't think Kenny would have a chance to recover in time, so I helped. Fucked me over.
Bro, you can't help when you're guarding a shooter, bro. It's very simple.
He got open though. There was no time. It didn't matter who. It didn't matter who shot that. It was gonna be game. And Kenny was already behind him. But I was like, fuck it. I don't know. I still got a like contest and still hit that shit anyways.
It doesn't matter. We just still took an L, bro. Ah, boy. Fucking.
I'm playing with an elite right now. You slash you defender. That's cool. 16,915 and the pro is 1,400 and 1,000 something like that. That's their own fault for help. Oh, okay, there you go. Damn it, I don't know if I should. Are you fucking dumb? You're supposed to pass out. Double
Automatically sort your expenses and save over 40 hours a month. Every day you're nearly fried to a crisp professionally. You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it. QuickBooks, backing you.
You want a fresh-smelling home, but some air fresheners use heavy, overwhelming scents. Introducing Febreze One, a new range of innovative air fresheners with no heavy perfumes that you can feel good about using in your home to deliver a light, natural-smelling freshness. Febreze One neutralizes stale, stuffy odors and releases a subtle hint of fragrance like bamboo or lemongrass ginger. To eliminate odors with no heavy perfumes, try new Febreze One. Brand power helping you buy better. In 1 week, a lot will happen in your life. Wrinkles as well. Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repairs derm-proven retinol works so fast, it takes only 1 week to reveal younger-looking skin. Neutrogena.
This president said, experience accurate performance of the 7-passenger MDX. Hurry in for the test drive today. SoCal Accurate, proud sponsor of the Backyard Grand Prix of Long Beach.
What you doing, J-Dub? You back on Smite? Why don't you work on your character, bro? Build them up to at least a 90.
they pass out with ball. But I don't care. I'll just play defense. Are you kidding me?
Tonight, the federal labor union is calling for Congressman Drew Ferguson, Republican from Georgia, to make a formal public apology. Here's the reason. Because members of the union were in a reception area in Ferguson's office just this week when they noticed a book on display titled General Robert Edward Lee, Soldier, Citizen, and Christian Patriot. It It was published in 1897, and it pushes racist Confederate ideology. The book was opened to a page containing this quote. It says, the blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa, morally, socially, and physically. The painful discipline they are undergoing is necessary for their instruction as a race, and I hope will prepare and lead them to better things. When Union members were shocked and outraged, the book was on display. The congressman says he didn't know it was there. His chief of staff apologized, saying the book's been removed. And joining now to
Tried to
talk about
pass
his
the
change
ball
development
over
of the
the
American
curb.
Federation of Government Employees.
I had to take
He
a
also
bullshit
invited
fucking shot
Congressman
with the rim
Ferguson as well, but he
failed me.
declined. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it. So let's talk about why you were visiting the congressman's
Yeah,
office
bitch, I could hit.
and
That's right.
take us
Pass
through
out.
what you saw.
Absolutely. So I've been in DC
That's
for
right.
the
Pull
last
from half
2
court.
weeks.
Care.
Last week I was here with the Jobs with Justice out of Atlanta, Georgia. This week I was here with the American Federation of Government Employees. We were making visits to members of Congress, trying to get some support for our particular agency, my agency, as it relates to Title V rights and federal raises and things of that nature. So we walked into Congressman Ferguson's office to have the conversation about him backing legislation for us.
Okay, so listen, is it possible he's saying that they didn't know? His representative saying language.
Don't let this brown shirt fool you.
I doubt it very seriously. The book was displayed in quite a noble way. It was a glass encasement. It appeared to actually be trimmed in some type of gold or gold plating. The bookcase was turned to that particular page, so someone in that office made sure that the book was placed where it was placed and turned to where it was turned.
And so the passage, I read the passage at the top where it talks about how people from Africa the blacks are immeasurably better off, and so on. There's the quote right there. What was going through your mind when you saw that?
To be quite honest, Don, I was absolutely enraged. My first thought was not anything related to me being a federal employee. My first thought was as an African-American man, and it was simply to just flip the whole bookcase over. But I had to remember why I was there and who I represent. And so I swallowed all of my anger down, and we just simply asked questions. We wanted to know myself and the rest of the people who were there. We wanted to know, were they aware? And when we asked, the question was just ignored, and a statement was made about George Washington's hair being on display as well, but that was no remedy for what we were asking.
So when you were there, you asked about it, right?
Yes.
And their answer was again?
When we asked it, were they aware that that book was in the case, and were they aware of what the book said? The young guy who was sitting in the reception area said, no, I'm not, but we have George Washington's hair on display.
Okay. And your response was?
I chuckled just like I did just then, and my union president was there with me, and she said, sir, I didn't ask you anything about George Washington's hair. We want to know why this book is in this office.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, I know that you got a phone call, but let me just read this before I get your phone. It says, this is from a spokesperson to CNN. It said the office was decorated by staff, and the book in question was underneath a box of military challenge coins. I did not even know it was there. When my staff learned about it, they removed it and apologized to the individual who was upset about it. So he's saying, he's blaming it on the staff, the decoration, and I'm just wondering if that is that sufficient for you?
Absolutely not. And even further than that, the fact that he says to the individual who was upset by it, as if only one person was offended by it. I was not the only African American in my group who was there, so I definitely was not the only person who was offended, yet I was the only person who was reached out to. So I feel like that was a blanket statement that was just trying to mitigate the situation without it getting any bigger.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? Because I know when I do these stories, I already know what the reaction is.
Right.
You're being too sensitive. This is part of American history. It was there, they didn't know it was in the display case. In America, there are ugly things about our history as well as glowing things about our history, and we must accept all of them. What do you say to that?
I think that is absolute rubbish, and it is quite funny that you would mention all of the things that you said because I've actually heard all of those reactions today via social media. I've had several people of other ethnic backgrounds besides my own say those things to me. And it's just, I feel like the fact that you would say that I'm being too sensitive is you being insensitive. It's always us being too sensitive when it's a different kind of category, whether it's race, sex,
I just
orientation.
realized this
Whenever
stuff on my
it's
phone.
not you or your group that is being affected by it, the other person is always being too sensitive. So I didn't agree with that at all.
James Miller, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
You're very welcome,
All
Doug.
right, then, yeah, we'll
One
catch
from
y'all
the
later.
top, a Trump White House official and former Fox News executive, tweeting out conspiracy theories about the measles outbreak in Washington and vaccines, which she's saying how dangerous and wrong her message is. That's next.
Brushing only reaches 25% of your mouth. Listerine cleans virtually 100%, helping to prevent gum disease and bad breath.
Jada.
25%.
Jada.
Fun for me? You think I'm having fun?
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day! Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The sooner you understand your credit, the sooner you can improve. Credit Sesame helped me by giving me a strategy and made me realize that I could do this. Now my credit score is 816, and I just bought a house.
Get your free credit score and strategy at creditsesame.com today.
At Passages Malibu, we treat and heal the underlying causes of addiction so you can live a healthy, addiction-free life. This is not a 12-step program. I should know. I was an addict for 10 years. Now I'm not. To end your addiction now, visit PassagesMalibu.com or call 888-644-2873.
I finally figured out what color to get now. Where to find the best deal?
You know, why don't I help?
What's that?
Carter, how much?
Silver. Cargoes?
Low miles, 2 grand below market value, 5-star dealer rating. Ooh, and me.
Let's do it your way then.
I heard that.
Go to Cargoes today to find great deals from top-rated dealers near you.
Only Tylenol rapid release gels have laser drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. Tylenol.
When the moon hits your eye like a million pizza pies in the morning. When the world seems to shine
Darla Shine, the wife of top Trump aide and former Fox News executive Bill Shine, is under fire and after going on an anti-vaccination rant on Twitter. She's also known for racist tweets and sexist comments. Dr. Debbie Nampia-Parambol and Julia Kayyem are here to discuss. Good evening to both of you. Doctor, so let's talk about this. Darla Shine seems to have been prompted by a CNN segment on the measles outbreak in Washington State, okay? And she tweeted this. She said, the entire baby boom population alive today had the measles as kids. Bring back our childhood diseases. They keep you healthy and fight cancer. I think you don't have to be a doctor to know that's not true, but let you debunk this now.
Exactly. So normally when we think about deadly viruses, the things that come to mind might be things like Zika or Ebola, right? But measles is just as deadly. So it's very dangerous. We just don't think about it as much because of the vaccine. Since we've had the vaccine since 1963, we don't hear about these complications as much. Now, her tweet is dangerous because we're seeing a problem where we're losing something called herd immunity. This is the idea that even if you don't get the vaccine, if everybody around you gets the vaccine, you may be protected from measles. That's because each person who gets it acts as a shield to the virus and then protects others. So as fewer people get vaccinated, then you can get these pockets where the virus itself can take hold and then infect others. And that puts not only the person who's unvaccinated at risk, but other people around them, usually the people who are more vulnerable.
She is saying that her kids won't have the immunity that she has because they were vaccinated. Is that how that works?
So there are a lot of different thoughts kind of jumbled together. So obviously, if you fought a virus, you have some immunity to it. That's true with people who've had chickenpox, for example. They won't get chickenpox again, but they can also see a resurgence of it afterwards in the same person. And her kids, by not being exposed to it, they're actually safer. We don't necessarily need that immunity because we have the vaccine. And also, she talked about cancer and protection from cancer. Now, I think that she may have been referring to something else where there are trials going on, for example, with the polio virus. They're using it to fight some types of brain cancer. That's in the lab with genetically modified viruses. We're not infecting people with the virus to try to fight cancer.
Never ceases to amaze me. Julia, tweets like this coming from the wife of a top White House official. I mean, it can have some real consequences. There is people, her tweets, her public comments carry weight.
Oh, absolutely. And this has, sort of true safety and security concerns. I mean, from the Homeland Security perspective, the fact that we have essentially eradicated the diseases that kill generations of children is good news, not bad. And, from the heart, I'll tell you, I love my 3 kids. Maybe I believe that anti-vaxxers love their kids. I'll tell you something from my head. I love their kids more than they love my kids or any other kids because they're free riders at this stage. The fact that they would voluntarily make our children, in particular, susceptible to diseases that other countries look at us and are envious that we have gotten rid of these diseases is absolutely outrageous and, sort of a disastrous free rider problem. I think the second thing is now we're starting to see in the Journal of Public Health published information today, we've seen this over the last couple of years, is that there is a national security side to this, which is, of course, Russia. Russian bots and others are doing what they did in the election, which is they're taking vulnerabilities in American society and they're
Thanks for watching. Our coverage continues.
Right now at IHOP, order any breakfast combo, and we'll throw in all-you-can-eat pancakes. So break out your all-you-can-eat silverware. All-you-can-eat pancakes with any breakfast combo. Or just get all-you-can-eat pancakes for $4.99 at IHOP.
It was here. I couldn't catch my breath.
It was the last song of the night. Felt like my heart was skipping beats.
They said I had AFib.
What's AFib?
I knew that meant I was at a greater risk of stroke.
I needed answers.
My doctor and I chose Xarelto.
To help keep me protected from a stroke.
Once daily Xarelto, a latest generation blood thinner, significantly lowers the risk of stroke in people with AFib not caused by a heart valve problem. Warfarin interferes with at least 6 of your body's natural blood clotting factors. Xarelto is selective, targeting just one critical factor. For AFib patients well managed on warfarin, there is limited information on how Xarelto compares in reducing the risk of stroke. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. It may increase your risk of bleeding if you take certain medicines. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. Do not take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Before starting, tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems.
Learn all you can.
To help protect yourself from a stroke.
Talk to your doctor about Xarelto.
You think this is fun for me? You think I'm having fun?
When we started our business, we were paying like an arm and a leg for the postage. I remember setting up ShipStation. I think it was just like 1 or 2 clicks. Everything was up and running. I was printing out labels and saving money.
ShipStation saves us so much time. It makes it really easy and seamless. Pick an order, print everything you need, stop, click, 1 box, and it's ready to go.
Our costs for shipping like were cut in half, just like that.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers. Go to shipstation.com/save and get 2 months free.
Brushing only reaches 25% of your mouth. Listerine cleans virtually 100%, helping to prevent gum disease and bad breath. Never settle for 25%. Always go for 100. Bring out the bold. Monday night, Senator Amy Klobuchar, a CNN presidential town hall, live from New Hampshire.
It is time to take back our democracy. It's time, America.
Town Monday Monterey, Monday night at 10 Eastern, only on CNN.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
Come down. What? I want to show you my wallet.
People come to prevent any report. It's AFib. And to follow up.
Would it be possible to take the dinner? Say, I don't speak German.
This is typical Berlin.
Nothing's
Only starring at Channel 125. Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
Your last resort.
This film has not yet been rated. Browse more movies at Channel 11. Getting to the truth matters. Aaron Burnett out front tomorrow night at 7 on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-591-4003. Got an idea for an invention, but don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp. Call today for free information. Call 800-591-4003.
Federal judge says Paul Manafort lied and broke his plea deal. He could go to jail for life.
Lawmakers preparing a vote on the border deal today. Will the president sign it before another shutdown?
High-stakes trade talks underway in Beijing. Will the president extend a key tariff truce to help cut a deal with China?
Well, a former Air Force intelligence officer accused of spilling U.S. secrets and spying for Iran. Good morning.
Thursday, February 14th. Better get those flowers.
There are no flowers. There are kids' Valentine's.
4 a.m. in the East. That's right. Okay, let's begin with Paul Manafort's plea deal now voided. A federal judge ruling the former Trump campaign chairman intentionally lied to the FBI, the special counsel, and a grand jury, making multiple false statements about several material matters, including his interactions with a longtime Russian associate, Konstantin Kilimnik. More now this morning from CNN's Evan Perez.
Christina David, judge here in Washington, voided Paul Manafort's plea deal with federal prosecutors. Judge Amy Berman Jackson said that there's enough evidence to show that Manafort, the former Trump campaign chairman, intentionally lied in 3 instances during the time that he was supposed to be cooperating with investigators from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office. Manafort's attorneys have disputed that he intentionally made false statements, saying he simply didn't remember certain details. Prosecutors had accused Manafort of 5 specific lies. He pleaded guilty last year to financial crimes and had agreed to cooperate with the Mueller investigation. The judge issued an order saying that Manafort lied in 3 of those topics, and the lies were, quote, material to the investigation. 2 of those lies, the judge said, had to do with Manafort's former business associate, Konstantin Kilimnik. Prosecutors allege that Kilimnik is an operative with Russian intelligence. And they say that Manafort shared sensitive polling data with Kilimnik during a meeting last year at a cigar bar in New York. Now, we don't know exactly what else happened at that meeting, but prosecutors say that it was important enough that Manafort lied about it, and that those who attended even left by separate exits, perhaps to avoid detection. The judge has yet to decide how long Manafort will spend in prison and whether he gets any time for admitting to his crimes. Christina Dave?
Evan, thanks. If all goes according to plan, a bipartisan border security bill could be on the president's desk by tonight. According to 2 sources who have spoken to him, he plans to sign. The 1,159-page spending package has officially been released. The Senate is expected to take it up and pass it today. The legislation then goes back to the House with final passage expected tonight. From there, the measure goes straight to the White House.
Well, we haven't gotten it yet. We'll be getting it. We'll be looking for landmines, because you could have that. You know, it's been known to happen before to people.
The president continues to claim his wall is already being built, even though the funding bill headed his way just calls for 55 miles of new steel fence.
We're building as we speak in the most desperately needed areas. And it's a big wall. It's a strong wall. It's a wall that people aren't going through very easy. You're going to have to be in extremely good shape to get over this one. They would be able to climb Mount Everest a lot easier, I think.
You think? The conservative House Freedom Caucus is so unhappy with the compromise border bill, its members introduced a short-term resolution to keep the government funded for another week. They hoped to buy time to negotiate a better agreement.
Critical trade talks between the U.S. and China underway in Beijing. This is the 3rd round of recent negotiations between the 2 countries. If a deal is not reached by March 1st, U.S. tariffs on $200 billion worth of China's imports skyrocket from 10% to 25%. Now, if enough progress is made, President Trump said he might let that deadline slide. Just how long is unclear. Let's go back to Beijing and bring in CNN's Matt Rivers. And there are those who said, you know, the president blinking on that hard March 1st deadline this week was definitely newsworthy. Maybe that was the president showing weakness. Although, if he really is serious about getting real reform in China, everyone from the beginning has said it takes more than the 90 days that they've been talking so far.
Yeah, Christine, and it's worth noting here that March 1st, that deadline that was put into place, it wasn't by congressional mandate. It's not some law. This is a relatively arbitrary deadline that can easily be moved, and it appears that it might be. It all comes down to this week. We've had lower-level negotiations going on here in Beijing, actually since Monday, but it's today and tomorrow, really, with the senior-level delegates. You've got Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, you've got U.S. Trade Rep Robert Lighthizer talking to their Chinese counterparts here both today and tomorrow, and it all comes down to these 2 days. Will enough progress be made that when those representatives go back to the president, he feels confident enough to say, okay, we will move that deadline. Now, moving the deadline accomplishes a couple of things here. One, of course, it alleviates the pressure of those looming tariffs. But the other thing it does is it gives time for Xi Jinping, the president of China, to meet with Donald Trump. Trump has said previously that he won't ink a trade deal unless he meets with President Xi. There was a thought that that might happen before March 1st, but that's not going to happen primarily because of that other summit that's coming up between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un on February 27th and 28th. So the earliest these two leaders of China and the U.S. could meet, about mid-March more than likely. So by sliding that deadline, it gives negotiators more time. It gives time for those two leaders to meet. And that's, you know, what you would need, I think, if you're going to get to a deal. But don't let anyone tell you they know this is how this is going to play out here. We've seen stops and starts for the better part of 18 months now. So, yes, there's progress being made so far, but tomorrow, who knows, Christine?
And, you know, remember, Matt, I think it's important to remind our viewers that what the United States is asking for, some of the concessions the United States is asking for, the Chinese haven't even admitted that they do those things, that bad behavior, right? So they're almost talking past each other on some of these issues.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, there's a ton of space, I think, between the United States and China on a lot of things. I mean, the United States is making a big ask of the Chinese here to make structural changes to the economy, to basically take the state out of the economy. But this is a communist country. Removing the state from the economy is just about impossible. So there's a ton of issues. Yes, both sides have said that they're making progress. Steve Mnuchin here to reporters said so far so good. But you also had Larry Kudlow last week saying that both sides remain far apart. So whether a deal can actually be done to address the kind of things that President Trump has said, the structural economic changes, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, you can't favor your own industries over, you know, your foreign competitors or foreign investors, and that is exactly how the business model works there. All right, nice to see you. Thanks so much, Matt Rivers. Keep us posted on any progress. Investors are encouraged by hopes of a U.S.-China trade deal, or at least the idea of punting for a couple of months on that deadline for March 1st. Wall Street futures are pointing higher right now. The Dow climbed 118 points. That's a two-month high, guys. Two-month high Wednesday. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ closed higher as well. As these trade talks continue, new data show China has posted a surprise jump in exports. This caught a lot of people by surprise. Exports of Chinese goods rose 9.1% in January. This is data from the General Administration of Customs there. Now, that reverses a 4.4% decline in December. Now, many economists expected exports to shrink again, but they didn't. A surprise rise. The slowdown in China's economy has concerned businesses and investors around the world, and it could get worse if Beijing and Washington fail to reach a trade deal. Several companies, including Apple and Caterpillar, have blamed weakness in China's economy for disappointing earnings recently. Now, some think that surprise rise in exports could be ahead of the Lunar New Year and also ahead of that deadline, that maybe they were rushing orders ahead of that deadline when there would be higher tariffs on those goods.
A safe bet we're pushing this back now, according to the blue number 40, if you buy that.
It sounds like that's the direction I'm moving in.
All right, Mike Pence about to call out Iran. The vice president in Poland, where representatives from over 50 nations are taking part in a conference on the Middle East. Pence is expected to call on European allies to join the U.S. and forge a new nuclear deal with the Iranians. Tika Schubert live from Warsaw with the latest. Tika, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Well, the conference is well underway. We're expecting that speech from the vice president in about 2 hours. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo made the opening remarks here, and he urged delegates to put away the speech rhetoric, really get down to frank discussions. He also met with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier this morning, where, you know, he made clear that the only way there would be progress in this is to curb what he called the malign influence of Iran in the region. Now, ostensibly, this is a conference about many issues across the Middle East: Syria, Yemen, Israeli-Palestinian peace process, but really the focus is on Iran, and that's why we're looking forward to hearing from Vice President Mike Pence later today, Dave.
Tika Schubert live for us in Warsaw this morning. Thank you.
Right, a former Air Force intelligence officer has been charged with spying for Iran. An indictment unsealed yesterday charges 39-year-old Monica Witt with revealing a highly classified intelligence collection program and risking the lives of U.S. assets in Iran.
Monica Witt provided the Iranian government with the identities of employees in the U.S. intelligence community who were operating covertly.
The Justice Department says Witt also helped Iran use phishing emails and fake Facebook accounts trying to penetrate U.S. intelligence computer networks. In 2013, Witt defected to Iran beyond the reach of U.S. law enforcement.
We would hope that someday she might travel outside of Iran and we would be able to effect her arrest and render her back to the United States to stand justice.
The indictment says little about what drove Witt to spy, but it claims she considered approaching Russia as well.
Two sources have now confirmed to CNN explicit photos and texts from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to his girlfriend Lauren Sanchez were leaked to the Inquirer by Sanchez's brother Michael. Michael Sanchez, a Hollywood talent agent, declined to respond to CNN on the record, but he has previously denied to the Washington Post that he was the leaker. Last week, Bezos alleged in a Medium post that the Inquirer had tried to blackmail him. The post included emails showing the tabloid offered to sit on the leaked photos and texts if Bezos would say he doesn't believe the Inquirer's coverage of him was politically motivated.
All right, if you're gonna Ford pickup truck, some Ford tough news. The company is recalling more than 1 million of its F-150 trucks due to a transmission issue. Ford warned some models from 2001 to 2013 could downshift to first gear without warning. That can cause drivers to suddenly lose control of their vehicles. And there have been accidents, at least 5 accidents, stemming from this issue reported.
All right, ahead, fireworks at a Capitol Hill hearing. A brand new Democrat in Congress gets into a testing back and forth with a Trump diplomat.
Can attack
On February 8th,
who is not permitted to reply.
that was not a question.
You've tried moisturizer after moisturizer, but there's one that blows them all out of the water. Hydro Boost Water Gel from Neutrogena. With hyaluronic acid, it goes beneath the surface to plump skin cells from within and lock in hydration, leaving skin so supple it actually bounces back. The results will blow you away. And now for your body, new Hydro Boost Gel Cream from Neutrogena.
All right, I'm getting in the car now. I'll see you soon.
Sounds like a plan. Whoa!
Sorry, I dropped ya.
It's really dark down here.
Don't let this happen to you. The WeatherTech Cup Phone fits virtually any size cup holder.
That's better.
Order your cup phone today at WeatherTech.com.
Wait! Where's Grandpa?
If you're making too many bathroom trips, pay attention. Super Beta Prostate has clinically tested ingredients that help reduce urges to urinate so you can enjoy more of life's best moments.
How's your cough?
I'm good. I took this 12-hour Mucinex and sent it far away.
Hey buddy, have you seen a nice woman with a cough? Mucinex DM releases fast and lasts 12 hours, not 4. Send coughs far away all day.
Iconic luxury items from Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Gucci, Rolex, and hundreds more up to 90% off retail. All authenticated by our experts. Real luxury, unreal value. Only at The Real Real. Shop now and get 20% off on selected items with the code REAL.
Brushing only reaches 25% of your mouth. Listerine cleans virtually 100%, helping to prevent gum disease and bad breath. Never settle for 25%. Always go for 100. Bring out the bold. I'm Alex Trebek, here to tell you about the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget. I'm 65 and take medications. What's my price? You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan, available through the Colonial Penn program. It has an affordable rate starting at $9.95 a month. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. And with this plan, you can pick your payment date, so you can time your premium due date to work with your budget. So call now for free information, and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner, and it's yours just for calling. So call now.
Call 1-800-640-3335 for your free information and your free gift. There's no obligation. That's 1-800-640-3335. Call now.
Audible members know listening has the power to change us, make us better people. With Audible, you get more. 2 Audible originals, exclusive titles you can't find anywhere else. Plus, a credit good for any audiobook and exclusive fitness and wellness programs. All with our commitment-free guarantee and always ad-free. The most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories, the best place to listen. Download Audible and start your free trial today.
4:16 Eastern Time, a contentious exchange at a House hearing on Venezuela as Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar attacking the credibility of the Trump administration's new special envoy to Venezuela, Elliot Abrams. Omar started grilling by pointing to Abrams' guilty plea for misleading Congress in the Iran-Contra affair.
I fail to understand why members of this committee or the American people should find any testimony that you give today to be truthful.
If I can respond to that.
Was it a question?
I would
that was not a question.
Omar asked about Abrams' 1982 by U.S.-backed forces. She asked if Abrams would support armed rebels today trying to overthrow Venezuela's Maduro government, even if those rebels committed war crimes.
I don't think this entire line of questioning is meant to be real questions, and so I will not reply.
Whether your watch a genocide will take place.
Omar pressed again, asking if U.S. interests include protecting human rights and preventing genocide. Abrams replied that is always the position of the United States.
Right, the wife of former Communications Chairman, former Fox News executive Bill Shine, is pushing false anti-vaccination claims on Twitter. In a series of tweets, Darla Shine claimed without evidence that childhood diseases such as measles keep you healthy and fight cancer. She lamented the fact her children had received the MMR vaccine, which guards against measles, mumps, and rubella, and said that people of her generation, the baby boomers, are healthier now because they had measles as children. Her comments come as a measles outbreak sweeps across the country, disproportionately affecting those who were not vaccinated against the disease.
President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom sparring over California's scaled-back high-speed rail project. Trump saying he wanted the project's federal funds back after Newsom announced the revised plan.
The current project, as planned, would cost too much and respectfully take too long. There's been too little oversight and not enough transparency. Right now, there simply isn't a path to get from Sacramento to San Diego, let alone from San Francisco to LA.
Trump falsely tweeted the project was canceled and claimed the state owed the federal government $3.5 billion. Newsom shot back that the rail is still being built and added, "This is California's money allocated by Congress for this project. We're not giving it back."
It was 1 year ago today that a former student unleashed a hail of gunfire at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. 14 students, 3 adults died in that massacre. Now, a year later, survivors vow to keep pushing for gun control.
I plan to make sure that our generation is the last generation that has to live with the constant scourge of gun violence, no matter whether it's 17 people that are killed at our high school or 1 person that's shot and killed on their way to school, because we have to end gun violence in every zip code, in every single part of the United States.
The president marking the anniversary at a law enforcement conference in Washington, he listed his administration's efforts in the wake of Parkland and advocated for stronger school security.
We cannot imagine the sorrow and suffering the Parkland families have endured. Our entire nation mourns for the victims and their loved ones, and we pledge our unwavering resolve to work with the leaders in this room to secure our nation's schools and everywhere else.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis petitioning the state Supreme Court to convene a grand jury. He wants an investigation of the Broward County School District's response to that attack and its handling of school safety issues.
Back in Washington, a moment of silence on the House floor led by Congressman Ted Deutsch, who represents the Parkland area. Deutsch also co-sponsoring a Democratic gun control measure that would ban high-capacity magazines. The activism and legislative efforts seem to have had an effect, at least on the state and local levels. The year-end report from the Different Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence shows 67 new gun laws were enacted in 26 states and the District of Columbia. But for grieving families and friends, change cannot come fast enough. According to the nonprofit gun violence news site, The Trace, nearly 1,200 American children have been killed by firearms in the year since Parkland.
1,200 school-aged children killed by gun violence since Parkland. Remarkable. We'll be right back. That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
No, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico can help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
All right. How much for the recliner then?
Wait, how did that get out here? That is definitely not for sale.
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's for sale.
Here we go. Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
What you don't see can hurt you. Today's connected world is full of threats you may not see if you just monitor your credit to help protect your identity. LifeLock sees more, like your personal information on the dark web. And now with the power of Norton, we detect threats like ransomware too, to help protect your identity and devices. Plus, if there's an identity theft problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 Million Protection Package. Get LifeLock with Norton, starting at $9.99 a month.
In 1 week, a lot will happen in your life. Wrinkles just won't. Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair's derm-proven retinol works so fast, it takes only 1 week to reveal younger-looking skin, making wrinkles look so last week. Rapid Wrinkle Repair. Pair with new retinol oil for 2 times the wrinkle-fighting power. Neutrogena.
From the first loving touch, everything that touches your baby should be this comforting. Pampers Swaddlers, the #1 choice of hospitals, is 2 times softer and wraps your baby in our most premium protection, so every touch is as comforting as the first. Pampers, the #1 choice of hospitals, nurses, and parents.
Attention families with a loved one in a nursing home. If your loved one has suffered from bed sores, falls, broken bones, dehydration, or even death, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. If you have a loved one who is injured in a nursing home, we will find out what happened. State violations are found against nursing homes every day. You have a limited time to file your claim, so don't wait. Call now and speak with one of our attorneys. The call is confidential and free, or reach us online at nursinghomesettlements.com.
For drug-free sinus relief, experience Navage, the next big thing in nasal care. Navage is the only nose cleaner with powered suction to pull refreshing saline rinse in one nostril and out the other. Navage relieves congestion from allergies and colds naturally by flushing out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs.
I used to get so congested, but Navage cleans out all the stuff that makes me miserable so I can breathe again.
Now at CVS and Navage.com, you'll love that clean nose feeling.
Monday night, Senator Amy Klobuchar, a CNN presidential town hall, live from New Hampshire.
It is time to take back our democracy. It's time, America!
Town Monday Monterey, Monday night at 10 Eastern, only on CNN.
Prestige cream's not living up to the hype. 1 jar shatters the competition. Olay regenerates hydrating skin better than creams costing over $100, $200, and even $400. That's check this ad in good housekeeping.
Around here, nobody ever does it.
I'm good.
So when I heard they added Ultra Oxy to the cleaning power of Tide, it was just what we needed.
Dad, I didn't do it.
#1 stain and odor fighter. #1 trusted. It's got to be Tide.
Some people say trust your age. That's ridiculous. Age is just an illusion. How you show up for the world, that's what's real. What's your idea? I put it out there with the GoDaddy website.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now.
Call 1-800-830-9377. Again, that's 1-800-830-9377.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
hospital after a Delta connection flight bound for Seattle hit severe turbulence. This right there is what it looked like inside of the plane. One of the passengers said the aircraft did a nosedive twice. Here's audio from the flight moments after it happened.
763 turned right at Papa, and do you know if there was any damage to the aircraft?
Right on Papa, and we are not sure. We don't believe so. Compass 5763. Do you know any people on board are injured? We were never able to get an actual count. We know there's a couple possible more serious injuries.
The plane forced to make an emergency landing in Nevada. Customers boarded an alternate flight to Seattle later in the day. The Denver Broncos have a new quarterback, picking up former Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco from the Baltimore Ravens. The deal will not become official until the new league year begins on March 13th. The Ravens are expected to get a mid-range draft pick in return. The trade means Baltimore is officially committing to Lamar Jackson as its quarterback.
Disney releasing the first trailer for Frozen 2, the long-awaited sequel to the 2013 mega. The original cast is back for Frozen 2, led by Kristen Bell and her royal sister, the wickedly talented Idina Menzel. The original Frozen made more than $1 billion at the box office. It's the highest-grossing animated film of all time. Frozen 2 will hit theaters on November 22nd.
Oh, that's the
Gang's all back.
Yep, pre-holiday smash there.
Can't wait.
Okay, no more plea deal for Paul Manafort. A federal judge says Trump's former campaign chair lied to Mueller investigators about his contacts with the Russians. The story next.